What's up, guys? Back for another Facebook group Rant Fridays. Let's recap how this is going to go. You should know the formula by now. I go inside Amazon seller Facebook groups. I offer commentary in 5 different parts. Part 1, I go on a crazed rant. Part 2, I stir up unnecessary drama. I say things I shouldn't say. Part 3, I give you specific, tactical, actionable Amazon selling advice you can go make money with. Part 4, I do buy or pass. I show you a book on a scanning app that I find in a Facebook group. I tell you what I buy it or pass on it based on the data I see in the scanning app. In part 5, I give you life lessons disguised as Amazon lessons. I get a little bit deep, a little bit philosophical. Let's get into it. Drama or rant, we'll see how this goes. I'm not sure the direction it's going to go in. If this has some redeeming value, I'll put it in the rant section. If not, it's just going to be drama. So look, you got to have sympathy for people getting started, but I don't understand this. So this person posts, and you see these posts a lot. Am I doing something wrong? I've sold 23 books on FBA and I haven't made any money. Does it all come to covering fees? You should never be asking where the money went. You should never, ever wonder, what's going on here? Why am I not making money? Everything is spelled out for you. Everything's transparent. Amazon's very transparent about the fees. You can go on Amazon, see exactly where the money went. So in order to get to the point where you're posting in a Facebook group, hey, what happened to my money? Like, you have to have abandoned the most basic cursory amount of investigation for the sake of just throwing the question to the crowd. You ever heard the saying, and it's one of the first things I learned in the Amazon business is, you make your money when you buy. In other words, you know your numbers up front, so it's never a mystery how it all plays out when everything sells. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to make money on everything. It doesn't mean prices aren't going to change. It doesn't mean you're not going to lose money on certain items. It just knows if you have very deliberate buying criteria, you're never going to lose money. And this is something I learned like day one. It was an old podcast. It was this Scan Power podcast. I kind of doubt they still do that. But in the day, this was the only Amazon selling podcast. I'd listen to every episode and I would study it. I remember my girlfriend and I would just sit in my office and we just it was almost like in TV shows back in the day, everyone like hovers around the TV and just stare. Like we would like stare at the computer just listening to this podcast. And somebody on there said, you make your money when you buy. And I was like, got it. And I had just barely gotten started at this point. I've been selling for a while, but I just gotten started like it being like a legitimate business. And I was like, all right, got it. So now I know I don't ever have to wonder how everything's going to shake out. I just know, okay, I'm going to have a minimum payout threshold. I'm going to have a minimum ROI threshold. And I'm going to adjust the minimum sales price based on the sales rank. Like the worse the sales rank, the bigger the expected payout I need to see. And that's basically it. And so let's bring it back to this post here. This person is just apparently dumbfounded as to, well, does Amazon just take all the fees? Well, that's up to you. Like if Amazon's taking the fees for all your products, everything, all your sales, and you're not making money, that means you're selling products for too cheap. You're buying the wrong products or you're pricing them incorrectly. This should be really obvious. Like, I don't know. I struggle to get in the head of someone posting something like this. Like, do they think if they sell higher priced products that the fees, Amazon just takes more fees and that it's always going to be zero? Like, I'm very confused. Like if they're selling something for $10 and their buy cost is $3 or whatever, and they're not making money, do they think if they sell products for $20, they're still not making money? Like, I really don't understand the question. So obviously they're new, so we cut them a little bit of slack, but we don't really, I don't know. Do we cut slack for just like basic arithmetic? I don't know. It's weird, right? So, and you see this come up a lot. It's like, I'm not making money. It's all right there. Like Amazon tells you exactly, okay, you sold it for this much, fees were this much, like, you know your buy cost. It's like all right there. So this shouldn't ever be a question. So I guess this is a rant. I'm going to impart on you what someone imparted on me years ago. You make your money when you buy. Wow, am I allowed to plug my own thing in my own video? I'm pretty sure I get to do that. So this person asked, is there any repricing software out there that lets you price your new books like this, second cheapest minus 1 penny? Thanks. As a matter of fact, NeuroPrice, my repricing tool, full disclosure, is the only tool that can do that. Again, it's so funny when you don't realize how much misinformation is out there until you're extremely knowledgeable about something. It's kind of like they say, you don't know how much the media lies until you're someone they talk about. So I don't know anything about that, but I do know this subject very well as to what repricers can do. And NeuroPrice is in fact the only repricer that can do what this person's asking. And so fortunately someone jumped in and said, yes, NeuroPrice. And word is getting out. But a lot of people are also saying, there's multiple comments here. I don't know why I can't see them all. But anyway, there's a few comments of people saying, yeah, I'm pretty sure they can all do that. No, they can't. Literally, they cannot, because they're API dependent. So they simply cannot see the second, third lowest price, period. Only NeuroPrice can do that. Public service announcement, FYI, if what you're seeing here in this comment is important to you and the ability to have that kind of range and precision, neuroprice.io. Okay, we're coming at you from my YouTube channel. This is a comment. YouTube channel is FBA Mastery, although you probably know that because that's probably where you're watching this. So we got a comment here, you guys. And look, I've been fighting this my whole life. This is just pure drama. I got to say it. I've been fighting this mindset in this personality type my entire life. I don't know this guy. He's commented on other stuff before. He's probably watching this. It's not really a slight against you, man. The fun police. I can't take it anymore. I have spent decades fighting the fun police. If you are a person who has an ounce of spontaneity to your personality, an ounce of creativity, an ounce of, oh, I'm just gonna bend this rule a little bit because it's harmless, you will have this mob of people that I'm just gonna call the fun police attacking you. It's like they just sit in the bushes and they wait for anyone to have any amount of fun or do anything creative or do anything spontaneous, and they strike because they can't stand fun. They can't stand creativity. They can't stand spontaneity. They can't stand anyone coloring a little bit out of the lines. And I can't stand it. I declared war on these people when I was like 13. And here we are. I don't want to date myself. We are decades later, and they're still here. So this comment's about a video called 10 Sources of Free Books. Fantastic video, if I do say so myself. Very useful. I've gotten great feedback about it. People made a lot of money off this video. I just do nothing but give in this video. And what's the comment? One of the sources of free books is dumpster diving. Has made me a lot of money. Look around right now. Where am I not right now? We see books. You can't really see much, but where am I not? Here, look. Okay? Where am I not right now? Where can we safely assume I'm not? I'm not in a prison. Can we assume that? They don't allow goofy hats in prison. They don't allow... I'm not in a prison right now. So since I'm not in a prison, we can go ahead and deduce, and I'm someone who's dumpster dived 100,000 times. We can go ahead and deduce that dumpster diving is probably not a crime. And even if it is, it's not an arrestable crime. And even if it is, it's nobody's business because it's victimless. And even if you could argue it's not victimless, like, you're depriving the cockroaches at the landfill of these books. Like, even if you made an insane argument that somehow there's a victim to dumpster diving, I have yet to hear those victims speak. Whether it's a crime or not, and some obscure statute, I don't even care. I don't even know. I just know I've gotten tens of thousands of books out of dumpsters. I've made insane amounts of money from this, and I've never been arrested for it. Never even been talked to about it. And because I make a video trying to help people, we got the fun police, and they just can't restrain themselves. And I'm going to lose a subscriber here because I know this guy is watching this right now. And look, I mean, I hope you take this, in the spirit in which it's intended. I don't think the intention behind this comment is to save people from a life of crime, save people from the clutches of the police and, a prison sentence. I don't think that was the intent here. I don't think the intent was to help. The intent of my video was to help. You can watch it and see. All I do is just give in the video. The intention of this comment is not to help, in my opinion. The intention of this comment is to shame, to, feel better than somebody else, to shake your finger, to just be the fun police. Really, really, really don't like this. And again, I know I lost a subscriber here. I hope this benefits you from watching this. Whether it's to empower you to stand up to the fun police when you encounter them. If you're someone who is a creative, you're someone who is spontaneous, someone who does, step outside the line sometimes in a totally, obviously victimless way. Or if you're on the other side and you're someone that maybe has these traits and you can spot them in yourself and go, maybe I shouldn't shame people for having a little fun or doing things that aren't normal, doing things that are unconventional. And if your impulse is to like look at anybody that does anything that's not status quo and slightly unconventional and like, you know, step on them like a spider, I would encourage you to check that impulse. So again, I lost a subscriber here because I know he's watching this, but I really hope that this helps somebody. I really hope this helps somebody so that this world can be a little more fun. Okay, I'm going to say this about this question. So this person's asking, for those of you more seasoned sellers with holiday season starting, what is the last date or approximate time from Christmas that I should have my inventory sent in? So they're trying to find out, okay, they want to time their inventory arriving for Christmas. So what's like the best time to ship something so it'll arrive to Amazon and be there for the Christmas rush? The logic against shipping something in as soon as you get it and try to wait till the last minute, the logic behind that is, well, I don't want my inventory to sell because the price is going to go way up during this event, in this case, Christmas. The price is going to go way up. So if I ship it in now, it's going to sell too low, and then I'm going to miss out on a bunch of money. I understand that logic, but let's just say theoretically I was going to do this personally. Let's say I had, I was only interested in selling textbooks during textbook season. I didn't want to sell a single book during textbook season, because textbook prices go up a little bit during textbook season. So let's just assume that was the case. So I've got let's say I have 100,000 textbooks and it's February. And I'm like, all right, well, I need to wait until August because that's when prices are highest. When do you think I'm going to ship those books in? I'm going to time it. I'm going to like, all right, I got to time it exactly because the sale, you know, the prices peak the third week of August. So I got to time it and make sure my inventory doesn't sell too cheap. So when do I ship my books in? What would you guess? If it's February, and I'm trying to optimize for the third week in August, I'm shipping my books in February. How can that be? It makes no sense. Here's why, and that's what I'm going to tell this person here. Ship your stuff in now. You got Christmas stuff? Ship it in literally today. Here's why I'm saying this. The concern is it's going to sell for too low and you're going to leave money on the table. I get that, but guess what? You get to set the price. So what I do is I ship products in. Again, this is very rare in my business, but like I'll ship a product in and I'll just price it outrageously high. Not so high I'm going to trigger high pricing errors, but like I'm going to price it so there's like 10 other people underpricing me, or 20, or as many as I can get away with. But we'll just say I like to keep it somewhat realistic. So what I do is I go, okay, this book, you know, the lowest FBA offer is 25, and there's 12 offers, and the 13th offer is 50. I'm going to price it at 50. And so what that means is my inventory hits the warehouse and it's not going to sell anytime soon. And that's okay, right? Because I got it out of my space. I got it off my desk. I got it out of my office. It's on its way. It's at Amazon. I don't have to think about it anymore. But it's not just that. There's another weird thing that happens. A lot of this inventory, I shouldn't say a lot, a significant percentage of inventory that you ship in and you price it ridiculous. And you're like, this is a pricing strategy of an insane person, and you ship it in. Guess what? Some of it sells at that price well before the period where you expected it to sell at that price. It's a weird thing. And when you do this, you realize there's a lot of Amazon customers that are just, there is no logic to what they're doing, or there's logic that makes sense to them but does not make sense to us. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've had books where I'm like, you know, the 13th seller in line and someone's paying, you know, $15, $20, $30 more for my copy. And I look at it, it's like, my copy's not the best condition. It's not anything. It just doesn't make sense. It could be some random thing where Amazon gave me the buy box because of my location next to the buyer. Like, who knows, right? But it's crazy how often this happens. So my advice to this person is, if you've got stuff for Christmas, you don't want it to sell too cheap, price it really high, ship it in right now. And I'll tell you, you will be amazed. I mean, as I'm recording this, it's early October. You'll be shocked at how much will sell. You ship it in now, it goes live in a week or whatever. You'll be surprised that some of it will sell well before the Christmas season. All right, guys, buy or pass. This is a fun one. I'm going to struggle with this a little bit, not much, but slightly. So this person says, should I list this no score and a high rank? Okay, so we look at the sales score at 0, and which indicates it is not sold in the last, 6 months, according to Scoutly. And before we get to the price, got to talk about the sales rank. Sales rank of 10 million. The average rank is 8 million. Okay, so now we're in some murky territory. This isn't just Like I consider things to get very murky past 4 million. When we get into the 9, 10 million, we are really, really in some uncharted territory. Not uncharted in the sense that I haven't sold tons of books with a rank like this, but more so in the sense that you have no idea how long it's been since it's sold. None. It could have been 10. I don't even attempt to calculate how long it's been when you get in this range. Okay, so we know nothing about how much it's sold, how often it's sold, other than it's been at least a year, and it's sold at least one copy. In fact, it's sold multiple because you can see the average rank is 8 million. So we're starting to see a little bit of good sign. I haven't gotten to the price yet. We'll get to that. We're starting to see some good signs here. So it sold more than one copy. That's good. Or it sold at least one copy. Check number one. Check number two, it sold more than one, because otherwise the average rank wouldn't be 8 million. So, and I think that's how it works, right? Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to tell you where this is going to go. I don't care what the price is. I can already kind of see a teaser before I scroll down. It says a profit $110. So this is going to come down to what type of book it is. And we may do a live lookup on Amazon here. Let's just find out. Okay, so $140 is the lowest use price. There's 3 offers for sale. Now, first place my mind goes is anytime there's a very small number of other sellers selling a book, that can mean the value is artificially high because you just don't have competition to drive it down. So you only have 3 sellers. So you might have 3 sellers who've all agreed, hey, we're not going to drop the price. We're all going to sit here patiently and just wait. So it doesn't necessarily mean this book is selling for $140. Okay, so what's the title? And by the way, as of this moment, I'm going to buy this book. If this is going to cost me less than, I don't know, $5, I'm going to buy it. But how can we get more confident? So, because I'm not very confident. I want to get more confident. So the title of the book is To the Man Reporter from the Denver Post. How many of you guys have heard me do my analysis where I look at I make a decision based on the subject matter? I don't want to claim, genius status here. I don't want to claim like I have some, hyper specialized knowledge here, but this really is kind of an advanced move where you actually look at the subject matter and make an assessment based on that. So I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to pause the video here. Okay, now what I'm looking for here is a book that has a potentially passionate audience, and a book that cannot be replaced by any other book in the world. That's the super short version of what I'm looking for. A lot of this is kind of intuitive at this point. So let's look at this. We got a book, it's called, okay, a weird title. We can't really glean much from it. Look at the cover, it's still kind of weird. Now let's get to the description. Evocative and, listen, if you got kids in the room, get them out. Evocative and provocative lesbian poetry. What have we learned? And so what I'm doing with the subject matter here is just trying to consider how desperately does a potential reader of this book need this book? Like, how potentially collectible is this? How irreplaceable is it? How passionate is the audience? And as I'm doing these calculations, I'm looking at this book and I'm just not sure. Lesbian poetry, like there's probably lots of lesbian poetry out there. So I'm not sure if there's something about, if I really wanted, I rarely dig into a book this much, but if I really wanted to, I would like Google this author. Charlotte Waters was writing poetry and publishing poetry for over 4 decades. During the second wave of feminism, she was one of the first openly lesbian poets. Okay, so that's good. So now we know she has some like notoriety. So that's interesting. I don't know what to say about the subject matter. It's definitely better than like, I always use the example of like a microwave repair guide, right? Like it's definitely not on that end of the spectrum. It's not on the other end of the spectrum of, I think someone left a YouTube comment the other day about, something about, I found a book once on how to avoid detection by UFOs. Like that would be the other end of the spectrum. The really niche, really passionate audience end of the spectrum. This is probably somewhere in the middle. So again, kind of we're seeing a pattern here where I'm not getting super thrilled about what I'm seeing, but I'm not being too deterred either. Okay, so and again, the sales rank you see here is 9.2 million. It's 47 pages. Couple things I don't like. Number one, it's 47 pages. It doesn't mean much. It's just kind of like, okay, it's a little pamphlet, essentially. So it doesn't mean they can't be highly collectible, and it doesn't mean much, but it's just something I'm taking note of. Next thing I don't like, it's the second edition. Okay. Now I'm starting to get mildly concerned because it means are all the sales for this going to the cheap? So when you've got books spread across several conditions, when you've got a book that's selling this infrequently, you want to make sure that every base is covered in terms of if someone has to buy this book, are they going to get your copy? Because if you have one person a year that's like, no, I'm going to go for this other copy over here, then you're waiting another year for a sale, or 2 years, or 3 years, right? So I want to eliminate that risk or reduce it as much as possible. So second edition, now I'm like, all right, is there a first edition? Is there another edition that someone might look at and go, I'm going to buy that one instead? Now, I don't do this with textbooks or any books that are in high demand, or even relatively like demand better than, I don't know, like 4 or 5 million or something. But when a book is ranked 10 million, I'm trying to cover all my bases. I'm trying to mitigate my risk. So what I'm going to do is search for the title and see if I can bring up the first edition, and it looks like this might be it. Okay, so and this one's selling for 25, but it has no rank. That means it's never sold a single copy. So this is very encouraging. It means we can basically eliminate this product page, this particular edition of this book, as being a concern because it's just not selling. It's got no image. That's probably the main reason it's not selling. People can't even see the cover, so they just don't trust. They don't trust the listing. Okay, so now we're back to, we can ignore that detail about this being the second edition because the first edition, as we just discovered, does not matter. Okay, so now I'm back to liking this book a little bit more. And I'll tell you what, I'm just basically back to where I started. I'm not thrilled about it, but I'm going to buy it. If it's like less than $5, I'm going to take a chance on it. Now, if you're a seller who has, who's kind of living month to month, and maybe you run out of money before you run out of books to buy, maybe this is not going to be a book you invest in. You're going to want to tie up your money, not in a book you might sit on for a couple of years, but or a year or so. Hopefully, it won't be that long. But a book that you can turn over more quickly and get your money back more quickly. So a lot of it's going to depend on how much money you have, honestly. I'm in the fortunate position where I'm not too spooked at the end of every month about whether or not I'm going to have money to spend on the next month. So yeah, I'm going to buy this book. And that's about all I would have to say about this. I would eat the long-term storage fees, assuming I'm going to get them back eventually. And, books like this do hurt your IPI score. So that's a concern. But if your IPI score is healthy and you're willing to take a chance, you can always just discard this later if it starts to become too much of a liability. But yeah, 10 million, I would say it has a good chance of selling. Everything has a good chance of selling in the next year, as long as you maintain your repricing. The price could drop, etc. And man, is it rare for a book to not sell, in 2 years. So you've got the long-term storage fee issue, not a concern because the value is so high. And you've got the IPI score issue. That's a personal decision for you to make. So that's where I'm at. A very hesitant, yes, I would buy this book. Okay, for this one, we're going to take you over to my YouTube channel. So if you don't know, it's just FBA Mastery, and we have a comment. Now, here's the thing. As much as I just sort of playfully make fun about some of the posts in Facebook groups, YouTube is vastly worse. In other words, the type of person that comments on YouTube videos is often, and you only see the ones that get approved, right? And I don't just mean my channel. I mean, this is true across the board. So a lot of comments get deleted or just don't get approved. And it's a really bad scene. Like, it's really dark. That's the only way to put it. I mean, it's like trolls that are like unashamed about being trolls. So, and I'm not exactly putting this guy in this category, but close. So I posted a video that was just very straightforward. I just emailed, a couple dozen repricing tools, and I said, hey, do you have any blind spots? Knowing that they did, and then I audited their responses, and I published them, and I said, hey, here are the repricing tools that lie about having an FBA blind spot. They all do, except for NeuroPrice. They all do, and they can't deny it, but I wanted to see would they actually be honest about it if I posed as a prospective customer. So that's what this video is about. It's called Busted. I Caught Amazon Repricers Lying. Okay, so this guy posted a comment. So I knew, of course, I'm doing things that are just, as I said in the intro to that video, things that are considered you just shouldn't do in a polite society. Okay, so I understand that. This is a provocative video. That's the whole point, right? So this guy, I was expecting lots of hate. I got much less than I actually anticipated, but I did get one from this guy. So he said, I feel like your approach to this is more scammy than conspiracy. Okay, whatever. Scammy, it's like, what's the scam? Like, I'm just literally posting screenshots of emails, right? But anyway, I'm not going to go into a whole commentary about a negative YouTube comment, but there's a couple life lessons here that we can glean from this person. You don't want to be this person, everybody. Here's why. There's two things. Number one, you don't ever want to express an opinion unless it's an informed opinion. If you are asked to give an opinion about 100 subjects, your answer for 99 of them should be, I don't have enough information to have an opinion. That is the mature. No one has accused me of ever being mature. Okay, but that would be the mature response. It would be, hey, I don't know, politics, people. What do you think about Susie over in this fifth cubicle? I don't have enough information to form an opinion. Okay. Again, all political subject. You don't know enough about almost anything to have an opinion about it. Okay. So, and oftentimes that can come from that's just not where your time's going. You don't have time to research the thing. And a lot of times it's due to negligence. In the case of this person, it's negligence. They actually said, I don't believe any of the Amazon tools or softwares, we're making up words here, by any company claim to be 100% accurate. You guys, this video was literally screenshot after screenshot after screenshot of repricing tools claiming unambiguously that they are 100% accurate. That's all this video was. And so this guy didn't watch the video, or at least he didn't get more than like a few minutes into it, because that's literally what the video was. That's the entire video. So he's making a comment about something and expressing an opinion about something he doesn't have enough information to have an opinion about, to the extent that he literally didn't watch the video that he's commenting on. So it's very embarrassing for him. I love letting trolls expose themselves, because now this video is public and everybody can see who watched the video. This guy he literally didn't watch the video. So it's embarrassing for him. But this is what I really want to talk about. Okay, so by the way, don't get the comments confused. This first comment from me is in response to somebody else. This is my response to him, but don't read that yet. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in a second. So I'll say this. The problem is, I believe the problem is the repricers themselves, but not in the deceitful way you describe. Okay, literally I showed screenshots. So this guy is just embarrassing himself. But anyway, here's where it gets really funny. And this is the life lesson. You go to the bottom. He says, I've asked other sellers that are on YouTube and they have no idea about this. Okay, so funny thing here. I don't have an exact timestamp, so I don't want to get caught in a lie here. I believe this person posted this comment within 40 minutes of the video going live. So what he's doing here, this is a common tactic of people that really have no idea what they're talking about. They'll always go, oh, well, I know all these other people that feel the same way I do. So this guy's claiming he went to talk to a bunch of other YouTubers and they didn't know about this blind spot issue. So you're saying that you watched the video is 30 minutes, by the way. So you watch the video. So now you have 10 minutes left. And then you go and talk to a bunch of YouTubers and then run and get an opinion from them and get responses from them, then run back and all post within 10 minutes. And by the way, I might get the timestamps wrong. I don't remember exactly. It was like very shortly after this video went live, this person posted this comment. Okay. So he did not have enough time. We know he didn't watch the video. He didn't have enough time to run to other quote YouTubers and get an opinion and have all of them say, we don't know about the FBA blind spot. We've never heard of this. So that's lesson number one. But that's not even the lesson I want to impart here. The lesson is this. Let's just say he did. The kind of person you don't want to be the person that forms an opinion based on what the majority is saying. So let's just say this is true, even though we know it's not. Let's say it's true. This guy literally, let's say he went to multiple other people in the Amazon selling community and said, what is this FBA blind spot thing? How does it affect repricers? And they all said, we've never heard of it. You don't want to be the person that decides at that point, because the mob says one thing, that is fact. Okay? Because you're going to live a life that you're basically just a puppet of other people who are more powerful than you, who can control messaging. Now, I don't want this to get like political necessarily, but this kind of person 100% believes everything he sees on TV, everything he believes on social media, right? Anything that gets pushed, a message gets pushed on him, this guy believes. Because again, by his own admission, he's basing his decisions based on what the majority thinks. So he said, I talked to other people, they haven't heard of this. Since you're one person, and there are multiple people, which I don't believe they exist, of course, but I'm just saying if this was true. Therefore, what you're saying is not real. Even though I just call this video bulletproof is an understatement. It is literally not just screenshots, but documentation from Amazon proving that this blind spot is real. Like you almost never want to say there's not two sides to any story, but like this is my videos are as bulletproof as they get on this subject. Okay. This guy stumbled over all the screenshots of Amazon's developer documentation, all the screenshots from these repricers, went past all of that and decided because he hasn't heard about this before, therefore it's not real. So what is the life of somebody who decides because something doesn't fit into the mainstream narrative that it must not be real? What is that person's life like? I can only imagine. It means they're literally a slave. Like their mind they've literally outsourced their thinking to the mob. So they are a slave to the whims of other people, the opinions of other people, the messaging of other people. That means everything they say on TV is true. Everything that if they go to the park where there's a bunch of dudes playing chess, whatever they're talking about, they believe. Like this guy's not a man. Like he's literally just a puppet. And this guy could have just fired off like a hasty comment. So it's not really about him, but somebody that truly only defers to the majority. So we'll take it away from this guy. Someone that only truly defers to the majority is not a man. They've literally outsourced their thinking to the mob. And that person is like quite literally a slave. If the TV said tomorrow, hey, everyone go line up at CVS and you're going to get injected with mercury because that's the new miracle drug. Like people like this they would literally be in line, 7 o'clock in the morning. Yes, TV, yes, TV. Like you don't want to be that person. So to bring this kind of back down to earth, if you're uncertain about, if someone makes a claim and let's just say you're not convinced of the evidence, you should absolutely like question everything, right? But you never want to make a decision based on the majority. That is something you don't want to do. You don't want to not have an opinion, then look over your right shoulder, look over your left shoulder, and then make a decision based on what you hear on either side of you. That's what you don't want to do. You want to defer to the evidence. So to bring this back to Amazon selling, I see a lot of Amazon sellers that just sign up for like whatever app the guru is talking about, even though they're getting paid to talk about it. I see them parroting opinions that are like objectively false in these Facebook groups only because a couple of the like top contributors, in these Facebook groups have repeated this misinformation. And so they just accept it as fact, right? Not a good way to go through life, because what it means if you're that person is you have surrendered control of the destiny of your life to other people. And nothing should be more scary to you than that. All right, guys, we covered a lot of ground. You now have a 3-part mission. Are you ready? Mission number 1, subscribe to this YouTube channel. You can build a whole business off of what I give away for free. Do it right now. Number 2, get all my free stuff. Hit the link below this video. Go to fbamastery.com. Get free reports, free web classes, no strings attached. Free means free. Hit the link below this video right now. And mission number 3, take what you learned in this video and go make money with it. This is Peter Valley signing off. See you in the next video.